Welcome back in, Chasing Checkers, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We're on the Game Nashville app. It's all presented by Hillside Medical, and excited, as always, to talk to our next guest. He is the driver of the number 2 Penske Ford, Brad Keselowski, on the line with us as they get ready to race at Bristol Saturday night. Brad, how you doing?
Terrific. Not as good as I could be if we had a little more points in the bank before the race, but better than it could be as well with respect to not playing from behind. Got a little points cushion coming into the race, and never enough for Bristol though.
Yeah, Bristol is one of those places where you expect the unexpected as you go in under the lights. You guys typically, the tempers flare a little bit at the Bristol Motor Speedway, but it's always a great show. Like you said, I know not exactly where you wanted to be after Richmond, but do you feel confident going into a place that you have multiple wins at?
Yeah, reasonably. Yeah, I wish we had more speed than we've shown in the late. I think I'm optimistic we'll show more, but also realistic that we haven't been very fast lately. So you got to have speed to control your destiny, and not been something we've been where we want to be there yet. At least not on the racetrack. Pit crew's been doing awesome. I'm really proud of them, but let's see what we can make count on the racetrack.
How nerve-wracking is this format with the playoffs, and there's different rounds, you get eliminated? I mean, it's just like your regular stick and ball sports where, I mean, if you don't perform and you lose, you don't have enough points going into a certain round, you're out. So how nerve-wracking is it from the driver's seat?
Well, it's definitely a pressure cooker. You've got championship opportunity in front of you, and you don't want to let it slip out of your fingers, and in every instance is trying to do just that. So each weekend you got to prove yourself.
Is there more pressure? Do you put more pressure on yourself, I guess is the way I put it, knowing that this is your last shot at it with Team Penske, a team that you've had a lot of success with, you've won a championship with, you have a lot of respect for Mr. Penske and a lot of friendships that have been created. So do you put extra on yourself to perform and try and go out with a championship?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty natural, Chase, to try and think of it that way, and try to be smart about it and not get too emotional either way, because that doesn't really do anything or isn't any really advantage to me. But obviously want to do the best I can and honor the things that have been given to me, and honor the team with some great results before our time together is over.
I've talked to a lot of people, including yourself, about Roger Penske, Joseph Newgarden, who's a Nashville guy, also with Team Penske. We've had a lot of chats about him. But what are some things that you've learned from him as you now go into this? Even though you're going to continue to drive for Roush Fenway, but you're going to have an ownership stake in that team. What are some things that you've learned from the captain?
Oh, no doubt, he's one of the most professional people you ever meet in your life. Got his stuff together and very organized, pushes himself every day, is a hard worker. He loves the grind. I think that's important. There's so many takeaways. I don't even know how to begin.
Yeah, and like I said, you've had some good times there for sure. NASCAR announced the 2022 schedule, and it's going to start with an exhibition race at the LA Coliseum. They're going to build a track inside the stadium, a la Bowman Gray. NASCAR continues to try new things and really think outside the box. But I know you're focused on a championship right now, but when you got that news, what kind of went through your head?
Well, I think it's interesting. It's a fresh new idea. Our sport craves that. Schedule variability has been very good for us. We've made a lot of changes to the sport over the last decade, and for a while the schedule was kind of the sacred cow, and now that we're willing to make some moves and pieces there, when we're seeing results, I think it's very refreshing, and I applaud NASCAR and all the involved parties for taking this chance to do so.
Do you look at, or will you look at things differently now that you have an ownership role, or is it still like with scheduling and things like that, or is it just the same that it always has been for you?
I think for now it's the same as it's always been. I try to focus on the things I can control.
Nashville was a new track to the schedule this year, and a place that you had success at in the Xfinity Series. It was a fantastic weekend. but it's now just another new market. You all are going to go to Worldwide Technology Speedway, better known as Gateway, in St. Louis. That's another new market that has been added to the schedule. How important is it to continue to add these places to get a better reach with NASCAR?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely working that. I think we have some markets that we've been going to for a long time that potentially got into a spot where our races were just, I don't want to say taken for granted, but kind of guaranteed and didn't really push really hard or fully leverage them. And when you go to new markets, I think you see what these races can be when the communities really get behind them.
Are you in favor? Because I know I talked to Joey Logano, your teammate. I've talked to Kyle Busch about this. Are you one of those drivers that you'd like to see only go to a track one time, or are there some that, like a Darlington or a Daytona, that are sacred, that they deserve two races? What's kind of your take on that?
Yeah, I think some tracks, have some history and pedigree behind them, and others not so much. And I think you lock in kind of your majors, so to speak, and then everything else should be fair game.
Nashville has a unique opportunity with the super speedway having its date, but the fairgrounds continues to be a conversation and moving towards potentially fixing that place up to have NASCAR racing in some capacity, whatever it may be. But do you think that would be a unique enough situation where it's the same market but two different tracks in the same year?
Oh, I guess I really haven't thought of that. I think we certainly want to see something happen at the fairgrounds. A lot of history behind it, and clearly, a track that all of us think about from a short track perspective is probably putting on a really good show. But as far as how it competes with the Nashville Super Speedway, I'm not really qualified to answer that, I don't think.
So, Brad, as again, getting back to Bristol coming up Saturday night, I mentioned the 3 wins there. Are you concerned at all what the surface is going to be like after it had dirt on it for so long with the spring race and the other events that they did with the dirt?
Not particularly. I think with the Truck Series and Xfinity Series having ran on the track before our race, that any residual should hopefully be cleared off.
Well, Brad, it is always a pleasure to talk to you, and best of luck with the run for the championship and then everything moving forward with Roush Fenway as you move over there. But always fun to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate your coverage of our sport.